Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 117 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng looked at the only black fruit on the fruit tree in the crevice of the distant cliff. This thousand dream fruit had been fought over by 5 powerful men, and now he was the only one left standing. The more you are at this time, the more careful you must be. Don't let it be stolen by other strong men in the end. Luo Feng's mental will spread out instantly, covering a vast area around him to prevent any enemies from stealing the treasure. The God King Zhongfu and Emperor Jiufeng, each of them has extremely powerful means of escape. Luo Feng felt relieved only when his spiritual will spread to a vast area. This battle also shows the difference in strength. Luo Feng thought, among the 4 of them, without any treasures, the weak clone Emperor Wu is the weakest. Emperor Jiufeng and the God King Zhongfu are on paragraph. The purple-robed woman is the strongest. If I didn't have the Lai Yuan technique, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to defeat the purple-robed woman. Even if the mental will is strong enough, without the Lai Yuan technique, the influence on the purple-robed woman's mind will be greatly weakened, and the purple-robed woman can burst out with stronger strength. This is just one of her clones. Once she uses her true body, coupled with the super-powerful secret treasure, her deterrent power will increase dramatically. Luo Feng thought. This battle also proves that my 6-branch fusion secret technique, Skylight Silver Shuttle, is comparable to the Ultimate Realm moves and is no less powerful than the Emperor and his men. My 7-branch fusion secret technique, Dripping Blood, is even much stronger than their general secret techniques. Luo Feng reflected on this battle and summed up his experience. The great Tao of birth and death, as an avenue of integration, each branch of it is very strong. The fusion of 6 branches represents the ultimate level of techniques in the ordinary great Tao. The fusion of 7 branches is obviously stronger than the ultimate move. If all 9 branches of the great Tao of life and death can be integrated, the power of this move will far exceed the moves of an ordinary complete great Tao. Luo Feng thought. The power of the avenue of life and death is indeed far greater than that of any single avenue such as life, destruction, or space. When Luo Feng learned about the perfect inheritance and special inheritance information in the infinite space treasure house, he already knew the horror of the fusion path. For example, the fusion of time and space formed the great Tao of time and space, which is also incredibly powerful. Fusion path, although extremely powerful and more inclusive, is also much more difficult to practice. Luo Feng sat cross-legged there, his mind and will spreading in all directions, waiting silently. The wait lasted about 3 days. The black fruit on that fruit tree suddenly turned purple, and the dazzling purple light shone brightly, illuminating the vast area around it. There was also a faint fragrance spreading. It's about to ripen. Luo Feng, who was sitting cross-legged, stood up immediately and looked at the 1,000-dream fruit. In the pool of water not far from the cliff, the water was flowing with a sound, and a black head emerged from the pool, followed by a huge monster. I've been waiting for you. Luo Feng had already explored the surroundings a long time ago. There was only this one native creature of the dream realm in the vast surrounding area. Judging from its breath, it was still within his ability to deal with. That's why Luo Feng set his eyes on the 1,000-dream fruit. In the deep areas of the dream realm, there are naturally many more rare treasures worth over 1 billion merits than the 1,000-dream fruits, but the dream realm creatures around those rare treasures are too terrifying. This is the only one Luo Feng can hope to pick for the time being. Go! Luo Feng stood there, and suddenly a rolling river spread out. The vast silver river instantly covered the surrounding area of 10 billion kilometers, and naturally bound and wrapped up the black native creature. Roar! This turtle-like native creature roared and released endless cold air, which instantly froze a large amount of silver river water around it. After breaking free from the river water, this huge creature instantly rushed towards the 1,000 dreams fruit, but a drop of blood was stained on its body surface. The 7-branch secret technique, Dripping Blood. This drop of blood instantly corroded its entire body. This black native creature turned black and red all over. It howled angrily, but its strength was greatly reduced under the erosion and it was bound by the endless river water again. This time it could not escape. There were bursts of raw and cold air erupting. But the infection of blood drops and the restraint of river water have already entangled it. I hope there won't be any setbacks. Luophone was looking at the Thousand Dreams fruit. The Thousand Dreams fruit was emitting a fragrance, and the dazzling purple light could be seen in most areas of the space. Not good. Luophone frowned slightly as he saw dense groups of red-scaled creatures flying over from afar. Each of these red-scaled creatures was not very strong, just at the level of an ordinary god king, but there were too many of them, and it was impossible to count them at a glance. It's the Red Scale clan. I knew that treasures like the Thousand Dream fruits are not so easy to pick. Luophone recognized the other party and felt that he could still fight. After more than 100 years in the deep area of the Dream Realm, he was still very clear about the strength of this Red Scale clan. The Red Scale clan may seem countless, but in fact they are all one life, sharing the same vague consciousness. Luophone immediately made a response plan based on past intelligence. It is impossible to defeat the Red Scale clan, but it is possible to delay them until the Thousand Dream fruit is fully ripe. Buzz tilde tilde. A huge group of red scales flew over. Suddenly, a vast expanse of water from the Silver River enveloped them and bound the red-scaled tribe. However, the power of countless red-scaled creatures naturally combined into one, easily breaking the restraints of the river water and moving forward straight towards the Thousand Dream fruit. Go? Luophone transformed the huge world life form into an endless river of water which blocked the red-scaled tribe on the one hand, and bound and entangled the huge turtle-like creature on the other. Under Luophone's slight guidance, the two sides collided with each other. The habit of the Red Scale clan is to sweep away everything wherever they go. They also passed by the huge turtle-like creatures, and in the blink of an eye, the huge turtle-like creatures had been partially eroded and their bodies had shrunk greatly. Luophone's drop of blood quickly receded. Roar tilde. The huge turtle-like creature roared unwillingly and tried to escape, but it was restrained by the mighty river and could not escape. In just over 10 breaths, it was completely devoured by the Red Scale tribe, and not a single corpse was left. It did help delay the time for more than 10 breaths. Luophone smiled slightly, and then with a thought, a drop of blood quickly rushed towards the Red Scale clan and began to erode the Red Scale clan. Chichichi tilde tilde tilde. Only to saw red-scaled creatures being eroded and turned into part of the blood. But more red-scale creatures consumed a large amount of blood. The two sides eroded and annihilated each other. Hua hua tilde 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 tilde. The erosion of the secret method of dripping blood has a certain effect on the Red Scale tribe. But the destructive power of the Red Scale clan was too terrifying. This drop of Luophone's blood, which contained the energy reserve of a perfect divine body, was being rapidly consumed at this moment. The secret method of dripping blood consumes too much energy. Luophone was paying attention to the Thousand Dream fruit while also paying attention to the consumption of the blood-dropping secret technique. It took only the time it took to drink a pot of wine for this drop of blood to be completely consumed, while the size of the Red Scale clan was only reduced by about 1,000th. The entire tribe once again pounced on the Thousand Dream fruit. Suppress! A huge hand suddenly condensed in the vast Silver River. This huge hand had a dark abyss in its palm, covering everything below. The world is twisted. Everything is moved. Imprisoned. Suppressed. The entire Red Scale clan disappeared in an instant. Luophone showed up and looked at his left hand. The palm world in his left hand was imprisoning this group of red scales. Over 100 years, Luophone comprehended the secret patterns of the Star Tower and discovered two moves with 7 branches. One was the secret technique of dripping blood, and the other was the secret technique of cage. It can completely suppress and imprison an area of space. This group of red scales is really difficult to deal with. The world in my palm has turned into a cage which already has many spatial restrictions. This group of red scales actually gnawed away the space and is now gnawing at the membrane wall of the world in my palm. Luophone immediately replenished energy continuously to maintain the integrity of the cage in his palm. Although the palm cage is much less effective than the dripping blood in killing the enemy, it is several times more efficient in trapping the enemy. Luo Feng calculated it. With the same energy consumption, the palm cage can trap the Red Scale clan for a longer period of time. It's a pity that we didn't dare to bring the Star Tower in. If we had the Star Tower, we would have suppressed the entire Red Scale clan in it long ago. Luo Feng could only think about it. He didn't dare to take any risks. The adventure may succeed hundreds or thousands of times, but if it fails once, the Star Tower will be lost. In his heart, all the treasures in the Dream Realm added together are not as good as the Star Tower. Luo Feng was looking at the Thousand Dreams fruit while maintaining the integrity of the cage in his palm. Every moment, a large amount of his energy was being consumed. Suddenly, the light of the Thousand Dream fruit faded, becoming ordinary, and the fragrance also completely faded. Finally, it has fully matured. Luo Feng was overjoyed, and immediately a stream of water from the mighty river swept over the Thousand Dream fruits and picked them directly. The treasure box that had been prepared earlier immediately collected the fruit. The treasure is in hand, let's go. The cage in Luo Feng's palm instantly released this group of red scales. There was a flash of black light and he escaped from this dream space. Only the released Red Scale clan were left wandering around angrily, but they could not find the enemy and could only wantonly erode and destroy the surroundings. Luo Feng came to the outer area of the Dream Realm and looked at the entrance area sealed by the royal families of the two ancient countries in front of him. Swoosh! A flash of black light. Luo Feng instantly passed through the forbidden formation of the two ancient countries and reached the exit. In another flash, he was back in Huyang City. This is exactly the six-branch fusion of another secret method, Black Light Taoism, that Luo Feng realized. Luo Feng's six-branch fusion moves, except for the earlier, mass extinction style, are very similar to the Skylight Silver Shuttle and Black Light Escape method, he later realized, all of which have the same extreme speed. The speed is so fast that it rivals that of thoughts. When the thought arrives, the body will arrive as well. Therefore, there is no escape from the Skylight Silver Shuttle. There is no escape from it. The Black Light Passage method, with just one thought, can go from the outer layer of the Dream Realm to the exit, and forcibly penetrate the entire range of the formation. If it were on the origin continent, one thought could travel from one end of the origin continent to the other. This is the power of the ultimate level of escape. The ultimate moves are all extraordinary in their own way. The two ancient kingdoms' formations in the Dream Realm could not even detect the sky-hiding escape technique of the God King Wu Xin. Someone strong has forced his way through the formation. The royal families of the two ancient countries were in an uproar, but the guarding strength of the entrance to the Dream Realm was limited. The team from the Samsara building dared to attack. Luo Feng forced his way out, and their formation naturally could not stop him. Outside the Dream Realm exit, the purple-robed woman stood in the distance, waiting patiently. Swoosh! The man in black robe and golden mask reached the exit in an instant and disappeared again in an instant. He's out. The purple-robed woman looked at the scene. His escape method has also reached the ultimate level, but his escape method has a hint of the great way of destruction. Who is he? The purple-robed woman was quite curious. Without a sound or a trace, she disappeared. Qianmu Kingdom. In the entire origin continent, apart from the two ancient countries, the three forces that can be considered first class are Qianmu Kingdom, 10,000 Realms Kingdom, and Eastern Pole Territory. Among these three forces, Qianmu Kingdom can be said to be the most low-key. The purple-robed woman came to the depths of a palace, where a handsome young man was looking at a mysterious scroll floating in front of him, with countless secret patterns flowing on it. The purple-robed woman turned into a stream of light and flew into the body of the handsome young man. It's a pity that I failed this time and couldn't help my brother get a share of the 1,000 dream fruit. The handsome young man looked at the mysterious scroll and shook his head slightly. As a world beast, it's too difficult to practice on my own. I can't understand this secret pattern book at all. It's too difficult. The handsome young man looked at the secret pattern book. Behind him, a dark red monster emerged. Its bloody mouth seemed to swallow everything. I have worked very hard. As for my physical body, I have cultivated 7 types of body of the great Tao of destruction. As for secret techniques, I have also comprehended a total of 129 ultimate secret techniques. Even if the secret techniques are combined, the power can be even stronger. As for the spiritual will, I have also collected a variety of spiritual will secrets and practiced them for a long time. The handsome boy had a ferocious face and crazy eyes. But no matter how I practice, I will always be at the ultimate level. The body, the secret technique, the spiritual will are all at the ultimate level. None of them can break the limit. I don't want to practice anymore. I don't want to practice anymore. The handsome young man angrily threw the secret pattern book in his hand and smashed it in the corner of the hall. This was a legacy left by Yuan. During the long years, Heavenly Wood Kingdom only received 2 inheritances of Yuan, one of which was comprehended by the world beasts for a long time. Shoo! The handsome young man disappeared in the hall in an instant. On top of a towering mountain, a handsome young man sat there alone, drinking wine and eating meat in big gulps. These are all the delicacies and wines he collected on the origin continent. Time stands still inside the storage treasures, so the taste of the food can be perfectly preserved. Ayu. A middle-aged man appeared on the side. Brother is here. The handsome young man said, and continued to drink. My clone failed to snatch the 1000 dream fruit in the dream realm. Ayu, you have spent countless years collecting resources for me, and have exchanged them for a copy of the ultimate realm chaotic origin bloodline. I am not short of resources at all now. The middle-aged man said, you have to think more about yourself. The handsome young man shook his head and said, I don't want to think about myself. The origin world of the origin continent is gradually entering its final stages. It is estimated that it will usher in a great destruction in billions of years. The Purple Wood God King looked at the handsome boy. As a world beast, you were born from the origin of destruction. You will also return to silence along with the great destruction of the entire origin world. This is the fate of world beasts. Only by breaking the boundaries and becoming an existence beyond the God King level can you break free from the shackles of the origin of destruction. Under the operation of the supreme rules, the great Tao of destruction origin gave birth to world beasts. As long as the world beasts grow normally, they can reach the ultimate realm and possess many abilities such as perfect life forms, the ability to clone themselves, and the ability to breed legions. But world beasts also have many constraints. Their minds are born with constraints, which makes them naturally desire to destroy the world. Only after being enslaved by the soul can one suppress the instinctive desires of the mind. Life also has constraints. All world beasts cannot survive the great destruction and live to the next era of the origin world. They were born from the great Tao of destruction and will eventually return to extinction. You helped me obtain the ultimate realm chaotic origin bloodline, and I also became an ultimate realm life form. Purple Wood God King looked at the handsome boy. You helped me a lot. In the future, I can use the transmission channel left by Yuan to leave the origin continent. But what about you? When the origin continent is destroyed, are you ready to face death? Let me practice alone outside. Purple Wood God King looked at the handsome boy. You need to know, you are my only relative. The handsome young man looked at the Purple Wood God King. When he was conceived and born, the first figure he saw when he opened his eyes was the Purple Wood God King. The Purple Wood God King has always helped him, taught him, and guided him to grow. He is called the eldest brother, but in fact he is like a father. I really feel bad. The handsome young man raised his head, his face twisted. Brother, I really feel bad. I am used to all kinds of mysteries naturally appearing in my mind, and naturally becoming the ultimate state. It is really painful and uncomfortable for me to practice on my own. You have created some new secret methods. As long as you keep making progress and accumulating, you will eventually make a breakthrough, said the Purple Wood God King. No, these are just some of the techniques used in the Great Tao of Destruction. The handsome young man looked at the Purple Wood God King and said helplessly, I simply cannot absorb new knowledge and integrate it into the Great Tao of Destruction origin. The Great Tao of Destruction is too perfect in my heart. I cannot change it in the slightest. The handsome young man said, I cannot break the boundary. I cannot break it. Big brother, please don't force me. This kind of life is too uncomfortable. I would rather live happily for billions of epochs than suffer through cultivation. The purple-wood god king was stunned and sighed softly. Well, let's drink today. The purple-wood god king sat down. Yes, drink. The handsome young man said. In the future, how about practicing for 1 century and enjoying for another epoch? Purple-wood god king said, spend 50% of your time practicing? The handsome young man looked slightly painful, looked at the expectant eyes of the purple-wood god king, nodded and said, well, okay, I'll listen to you, big brother. The purple-wood god king smiled slightly. Drink, drink. Let's enjoy ourselves for the next century. The handsome young man laughed happily and drank with the purple-wood god king. Ha ha, let's drink. Purple-wood god king also drank happily, looking at the handsome boy with a smile. Don't blame me for pushing you too hard. I know that big brother is doing this for my own good, to free me from the fate of being a world beast. The handsome young man said. If you really can't get rid of it, then I will accompany you until the last day of your life. Purple-wood god king smiled and looked into the distance. It's a relief for you and I to face the end of the origin world together. The handsome young man was startled and looked at the purple-wood god king. No, brother, you must leave the origin continent before the end of the origin world. If you delay until the end, you will die. You are the only relative left to me. If you are gone, why should I continue to practice and fight? Purple-wood god king looked at the handsome boy. Practicing alone is meaningless. No, the handsome boy shook his head. Let's not talk about that anymore, just drink happily. The purple-wood god king said. The handsome young man felt that the wine had no taste anymore. Yes. During the long years I spent with my eldest brother, I realized that he really valued his family very much. After taking revenge, my attachment to the whole world faded a lot. He didn't even leave Heavenly Wood Kingdom. Many things in Heavenly Wood Kingdom were done by the incarnation of the world beast who transformed into the appearance of Purple-wood God King. Brother doesn't have much attachment to the entire origin continent. I am his only close relative. If I die, I'm afraid he will really. At this moment, he felt more urgent to practice. Not only for himself, but also for his elder brother, the Purple-wood God King. The Purple-wood God King watched this scene silently. He admitted that they did have deep feelings after spending so many years together. But what he cares most in his heart is still his family and children who he has had since he was young. Don't blame me for trying every possible way to get you to practice. First, it's for your own good, so you can escape your fate. Second, it's also for me. The stronger you are, the more hopeful my path of practice will be. The Purple-wood God King once met Yuan by chance. The first question he asked was whether there was any way to resurrect his family members. Yuan answered, jump out of the cage, become the master of origin continent of the origin world. Then you can save any life that has passed away from the long river of time and space. From that moment on, the Purple-wood God King was filled with endless desire for spiritual practice. He himself is practicing hard. He is also guiding his guardian, world beast, to practice hard. The world beasts are of great help to him. They help him collect all kinds of rare treasures and also serve as his guide. He couldn't just watch the world beasts lie down and enjoy themselves until the end of this world. The Flame-Wind Ancient Kingdom, a hidden and vast space. The thoughts of Emperor Fu, Emperor Jiufeng and Emperor Wu converged here. The three idol practitioners are the God King Zhongfu, the purple-robed woman, and the black-robed, gold-faced warrior. Emperor Jiufeng said, I have been guarding the formation at the entrance of the Dream Realm for some time. On the day I failed, the God King Zhongfu escaped through the formation with the Karma escape method. The purple-robed woman's escape was even more sophisticated. My space domain could barely sense it. The black-robed gold-faced warrior just broke out of the two ancient kingdoms formations. It should be because he obtained the 1,000 Dream Fruit. His escape method is extremely fast, and there is no time to stop him. After Emperor Jiufeng's failure, he had been secretly watching the entrance formation. With his attainments in the field of space, he could sense anyone who passed by. Don't try to hide any cause and effect, any energy from him. Emperor Fu. Emperor Wu asked doubtfully, I have given you the scenes of the battle with them. Can you confirm their identities? Emperor Jiufeng also looked at Emperor Fu. The Emperor's ability to deduce the secrets of heaven is extremely terrifying, and he also has the secret treasure of the formation bestowed by the ancestor. There is very little that can be hidden from him in the origin continent. It's impossible to be sure. The Emperor frowned and shook his head. We can't confirm the identity of the purple-robed woman and the black-robed golden-faced warrior? Emperor Wu and Emperor Jiufeng were both puzzled. There are many possibilities for the purple-robed woman. Emperor Fu said, it could be the Queen of Wind City. The Queen of Wind City was cultivated by the ancestors of the Eastern Pole Territory. Her resources are no less than those of our royal god king. She seems low-key, but in fact she is unfathomable. The purple-robed woman could also be the master of the 10,000 realms or the incarnation of a world beast. The Queen of Wind City, the Lord of 10,000 realms, the world beast. Emperor Wu and Emperor Jiufeng were both thinking. Where is the black-robed golden-faced warrior? Emperor Jiufeng asked. My wind of extinction cannot shake his body at all. His body is no less than that of an ultimate life form. His soul means or mental will means can kill the Lord of Qiankun in an instant. Both the body and the soul are so terrifying. There are only a handful of people in the origin continent who can do that. But the ones I know, none of them are likely to be the powerful men in black robes and golden faces. Emperor Jiufeng said. I can't figure it out either. Emperor Wu was confused. The person I suspect doesn't fit the bill either. Emperor Fu shook his head. I guess it might be a newly promoted strong man. There are many hidden talents in the origin continent, and among the many god kings of the second level, maybe one of them has quietly reached the ultimate level. When reaching the ultimate level, the body will naturally be strong, and it is normal for the spiritual will to surpass the god king level. The Lord of 10,000 realms and Emperor Qing, the two who have realized the complete great Tao, have spiritual wills that surpass the level of god king. A new strong man? Could he be a new ultimate realm master? Emperor Jiufeng and Emperor Wu were shocked. Both his body and soul are so strong, even if he is not at the ultimate level, he should be treated as such. The Emperor said nothing more. Emperor Jiufeng and Emperor Wu nodded, and finally had to leave. Emperor Fu was alone in this vast space. Is your physical body so strong? Then it's most likely Luo He. The Emperor smiled, quite satisfied. 5 strong men are fighting for the 1,000 dream fruit, and the purple-robed woman is suspected to be the master of the 10,000 realms or the incarnation of a world beast. You can win in the end. You are much stronger than I expected. Emperor Qing looks down on me, and his clone has long since left the origin continent to venture out. The Lord of 10,000 realms has a treacherous mind, and I don't like it. Emperor Ming. Emperor Ming is not suitable to be a companion. I might die in his hands one day. Luo He has grown up and is very loyal. He is suitable to be a companion and share life and death together. Emperor Fu frowned slightly, he grows too fast. I'd better arrange a clone to guard the transmission channel. When he leaves, I will leave with him immediately. This way we can go to the same place. Because of his strong enough strength, Emperor Fu had already prepared to leave the origin continent, and Luo He was the best companion he had identified. It is very difficult to find a trustworthy companion in life and death when leaving the origin continent to fight for your life. Before Luo Feng's rise, Emperor Fu was even ready to strike out on his own. Without suitable companions, I would rather act alone. Huyang City. This 1,000 dreams fruit still needs to be traded with the 2 ancient kingdoms in exchange for some of the bodies of the ultimate realm chaotic origin bloodline creatures. Luo Feng was in the city lord's mansion, thinking about the transaction. The 3 alien races might be able to provide some corpses of ultimate realm chaotic origin bloodline creatures, but the most likely ones they come up with are creatures bred from other origin worlds. Then in the future I won't be able to use invisibility and formless to change. Luophong's world life form now has 24 phases form. Luophong also has to consider the ultimate realm. Naturally, they wanted the corpse materials of the ultimate realm of chaotic origin bloodline creatures bred locally. Most of these corpse materials will be given to Morosa. A very small amount will be left for my own practice. Luophong made a decision. This video will end here.